Hey everyone, this is Vishal from Sinusoid Music, and we are here with Jonas from Katatonia. Jonas, how is it going today?
Hello, I'm very good at the moment. Thank you.
Awesome. So I think we'll start off with a pretty tough question. What do you have for lunch?
Oh, my lunch today was pretty sparse because I'm cooking food for dinner since 10 in the morning. So I wasn't really hungry. So I only had a couple of pieces of bread for lunch, unfortunately. But I'm doing a really nice bolognese that's going to be cooking for another 4 hours, I think.
Awesome.
So that's worth waiting for, I hope.
That sounds very exciting. And what music are you listening to nowadays? Like any specific bands you have recently gotten into or anything like that?
But it's a mixture of old classic stuff that I have loved for years, along with some new finds, and I'm pretty much always on the lookout for new music to get into. And I was just the other day I was at a concert here in Stockholm with this American blues guy called Marcus King. I played a show and that was really cool. I've been listening to his stuff for quite some time, and he's a superb vocalist, amazing guitar player. So it's a good mixture of that kind of stuff and some old metal stuff, of course, that I still love,
Yep, that's awesome. And talking about your latest album, Nightmares as Extensions of the Waking State, at least it took me a while to get into it because I think it's a bit more progressive, and once I got into it, it sounded absolutely amazing. And I figured that it is leaning more towards a guitar heavy, generally heavier sound, which reminded me of like The Great Cold Distance. So do you have any intentions of more heavier direction like this? Or was
well,
it just
maybe. Yeah, I think it's probably it's part subconsciously, and it's part also, I think, a natural reaction towards maybe the previous album. So I think it just came sort of natural to be a little bit more guitar heavy on this record. But it's not really part of a master plan or anything. It's just it's the way I write. I think it's usually sort of a combination of stuff that I want to do, and also a reaction towards what we have done so far.
It sounds really great. And I caught you guys last week in Graspop.
Nice.
All the way from India. That was my first time watching you guys, and it was amazing. You guys sounded great. And it was like a dream come true for us.
That's great. We were a bit nervous because we premiered 3 new songs that we have never played live. So we were a bit nervous, but I'm glad to hear that it's
all of
good.
them. I think you played all of my favorite tracks from the album. I think Wind of No Change, that sounded so heavy with the bass and the drums. It was beautiful.
Nice. That's good to hear. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that performance. I think if I recall correctly, you started off as a drummer in the band, right? And then you shifted to singing vocals. So drums was your primary instrument at the start, at least?
Yeah, definitely.
Do you see there was a way you compose your vocal lines or melodies which you feel is different? Like, usually people start off as guitarists and they move to vocals and they have a specific process. But you were a drummer first and then you moved to vocals. So I was just wanted to know, like, you had anything different in composing vocal lines and stuff like that?
I think maybe because I'm still a pretty rhythm-based sort of writer. Even when I write music, I sort of focus on rhythms rather than just coming up with all these melodies at first. So I think maybe the vocals were kind of inspired by drumming.
Nice.
And I think that's it's something that I love to do as well, to experiment with different kind of rhythm patterns in vocals and phrasing and stuff like that. So it's maybe it's coming from the drumming background. I'd like to think so, at least.
Yeah, it's definitely very unique, your patterns and everything else.
Yeah, cool.
That's great to know. So we recently got to interview Mikael Åkerfeldt in Graspop, and you guys are great friends, as far as I know. So how has your brotherhood been throughout the years? Like maybe a short, brief story of how you guys met and how's it going right now?
Well, we met as young teenagers here in Stockholm because a friend of ours that played briefly in Katatonia. Told us about this other band from sort of the same area as us. They were called Opeth, and he had like a rehearsal cassette, which we started listening to, and we thought it sounded great. So when they had a gig here in the suburbs of Stockholm, I went to that show, and afterwards I got to talk to Mikael for a bit, and you know, as it turned out, we had the same kind of, you know, feelings towards music, same kind of influences. So that was the start of a very long-lasting, fruitful friendship that's still continuing very much to this day, which is, you know, great. I mean, I've been following their career closely, and he's been doing the same with us. And there's always, you know, anytime we meet up, we sort of shoot the shit about the stuff that we've been going through since last time, you know, and hand out some tips and stuff on the music business or whatnot, you know. So it's great.
Awesome. I think they also played for your birthday, if I recall correctly. How was that experience? Oh, you played. Was it you? I think I saw a post about there was some performance, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah, we had I put together a little death metal band. So I was playing, Mikael was doing vocals, and some other friends were playing as well, and we just played a few death metal favorites of mine, because I wanted to get the party started.
That's awesome. Great way to get the party started as well. Clearly, based on the last 30 plus years of Katatonia, evolution has been the center of progress for Katatonia. And I would just like to know, like, is there a phase or period of Katatonia where you thought the progress or the change was more dramatic or, you know, more intense?
I think for me personally was when I switched from, in the past, being like a death metal vocalist and then, you know, trying to go for the clean vocals, because when I was younger, it's never been something that I would expect myself to do. I didn't see myself as a singer that way. So that's the biggest shift. Other than that, I think we have, you know, sort of developed in a steady pace and just tried new things, finding new ways to compose or to approach songs and stuff like that. But nothing as dramatic for me, at least, as switching to doing clean vocals.
Awesome. Got it. And you've told that you've been inspired by a lot of shoegaze bands, especially The Cure and Slowdive has been like some of your primary inspirations as well. So are there any other bands who have had an impact on your sound? I'm pretty sure this question has been asked many times, but I was just curious to understand if there were any unknown bands or even known bands for that matter.
I mean, these days, as I said, I listen to music all the time, but I don't really sort of know exactly where my inspiration stems from. I mean, certain songs can be very inspirational, but band-wise, these days it's just I just pick up so many impressions from all the music that I listen to, so I can't really pinpoint. But of course, there's some really nice music. Radiohead is one of the bands that comes to mind, and for me especially, some of the Tom York solo stuff I've been really inspired by. So that would be one. But there are obviously a lot of stuff to get inspired by.
Yeah, that's true. There's infinite music out there. But it's great to know that even Radiohead is one of your inspirations. They're a great band. And you recently debuted your 3 songs, right? In the last one. What was your favorite song to perform, or the band's favorite song to perform that time?
I think Wind of No Change, because we all agreed when we started recording this song that it has a very lively feeling to it. So it was very exciting, but also a bit nervous to try it on for the first time. But I think it turned out really good. We all sort of had some extra energy going into it, and I think that's a very good thing to feel, you know, when to overcome the sort of nervousness and just feel like it's clicking, you know. That's great.
Yeah, and the crowd was brilliant that night, that evening.
Yeah, I could see that and feel it.
Really nice. All right, and I was pretty interested of also the albums which you worked with Jens from Fascination Street. I think there were a couple of albums. Like, are there any chances of working with him again in the future?
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't mind. I think Jens is a great mixing guy, engineer guy. He's very detailed and he's very picky with things, which I think is a good thing. I mean, we've done I think 3 albums with him, or at least recorded and mixed 2 albums.
Yeah.
And he mixed The Fall of Hearts as well. So it's, you know, I wouldn't mind at all going back there, but it's always depending on what schedule you have and if someone is free or not to you know, take on the project. So, but he's great. He's great.
Yeah. The Great Cold Distance, I think, is definitely one of the best sounding albums I've heard for sure.
Yeah, people keep saying that, and I agree. And you know, it's fun because it's also seemed to stand the test of time. Sound-wise, it doesn't really feel like it's recorded. Yeah. What is it now? 20 years ago.
Yeah,
I think.
Exactly.
It still sounds very fresh. And yeah, totally.
Brilliant. And I just wanted to talk a bit more about your vocals. So especially the vocal jump from, as far as I've listened to your albums, The Last Fair Deal, Gone Down, and then you go to Viva Emptiness. There's a huge difference in, I don't know if it was with the recording or there was something more with your vocals changing. So what was that you worked on vocally at that point in time? Was it more practicing, or was it a different technique you learned along those lines, or was it just a generic progression from album to album?
No, I think it's there's a couple of factors there. Mm-hmm. Because when we recorded Last Fair Deal Gone Down, it was quite a quick recording in a studio where you can't really, we couldn't do punch-ins and stuff like that, so you had to sort of try to nail the songs. Mm-hmm. And this goes for all the instruments, you know, in one take if possible. Yeah. And then we did a bit of touring after that. You know, I think touring for me has been the best way of practicing vocals because it's harsher environment for singing, which makes you sort of pick up techniques quickly because you have to adapt to, you know, shit monitor systems and whatnot. So that's been very good for me, at least, to sort of adjust my singing. Mm-hmm. And then I think when we recorded Viva Emptiness, we had more time in the studio, basically. So yeah, that's the...
Makes sense.
Yeah, and better microphones and stuff.
Yeah, and that leads me to that question with your life. So I'm a vocalist myself who's primarily inspired by your band. I will come to that again, but what I've noticed is your vocals are on the relative softer side, which sounds great. But was it hard to translate the songs live?
I think in the beginning, definitely, because, I mean, nowadays we do like in-ear stuff live, but when we didn't have that, we couldn't afford that kind of stuff. We had to do the you know, the normal monitor wedges on stage, which is, I mean, when I was singing my soft stuff, you have to turn up the vocals, which will result in feedback and stuff. So it's always been kind of a battle to do that. But these days it's far more easy because of, you know, the in-ear thing is very helpful in that way.
Yeah, and I think I've also seen you use your own vocal processor. But, is that something recently you added on, or have you been using that for a very long time?
I've been using it for years. It's a TC Helicon thing that I totally love it. It's I think it's mainly for my own ears because I'm not sure that everything is going out to the PA, but to have the you know, control over reverb and delays and stuff and compression is very suitable for me when it comes to singing live. That's great. So you can sort of, you know, tailor-made your own sound in your ears with that kind of stuff. I think it's great.
Nice. That's really great. And of course, Sinusoidal being from India, you've played in India before. How was that experience? Yeah, we've played twice in India, and both times have been really, I mean, it's super exotic for us to go someplace that far off and play a show. Both times have been very overwhelming and super nice to do, to be able to, you know, sort of travel the whole, almost the whole world, it feels like, and see where our music has been able to take us. I think that's great. And India, I think that
the culture, everything is really, nice and welcoming. So
thank you so much.
I hope to go back someday.
Yeah, that was my next question. Will you be back to India anytime?
I think so. I mean, it's definitely on the radar. It's a place that we want to go back to. So don't be surprised if we come back.
We're all eagerly looking forward to it.
Yeah, that's good.
And do you listen to any Indian music by any chance?
I don't really. I mean, I do hear it from time to time, but it's not been something that I've gotten into so far. But I'm very open-minded, so I'll try to keep my ears open for it.
Yeah, that'll be great. I think I'll send in some suggestions as well.
Yeah.
So we'll just move to a quick fun segment. It's like a rapid fire round, which we've done with previous bands as well. So it's like, in the band, who is the most dash?
Okay.
Who is the most careless in the band?
Nico.
Okay. Who has the best hairstyle?
Nicholas.
The most organized?
Oh, that's Moyo.
Nice. The wisest?
Ooh, that's Nico, I think.
It's a lot of boxes. Easiest to panic?
Wow, that's tough. Maybe Sebastian.
The best chef?
I think that's me.
I'm waiting. The dinner's going to be great then.
Yeah.
And who's always late?
Moyo.
Okay. Who's the funniest?
Nico.
The best listener?
That's Nicholas.
Who gets angry the fastest?
Nico.
Okay. Who's the most dramatic? I guess that again leads back to angriest, but most dramatic.
Yeah, probably. Nico or myself, probably.
Nice. Yeah, that was just a quick section just to get the...
Yeah, cool. Funny.
Thank you. I want to talk about your side project. I think it's Korda. Am I pronouncing that right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So why did that start, and is there anything in the future coming out from there?
It started because myself and two of my very good friends, Joachim and Anders Eriksson, we share a love for like electronic music, and this was during the pandemic. We had not very much to do at the time, so we said we should start sending ideas back and forth and see if we could turn it into songs eventually. So we ended up with 4 songs. Unfortunately, we haven't really had the time to continue on this because I've been busy writing the Katatonia album, touring, and Joachim is writing a new album for his band Craft.
Yeah.
But just recently, just the other day, we started talking about doing the same thing again.
Oh wow, nice.
We're gonna pick a BPM and some chord. I don't know if I don't even think we will decide what chord types we would use, but just a BPM and start sending ideas back and forth. So
awesome. Hopefully
there will be at least a couple of more songs released pretty soon.
It's a definitely interesting project, more like dark wave and stuff. Is it like, are you channeling your electronic love towards that, or are you also bringing that to Katatonia?
I think both. I mean, Korda obviously is all electronic, but Katatonia has like electronic segments, which we've had for a long time, and it's something that I really love doing as well. I think it's part of our sound. So, but it's cool to have an outlet that's more on that end, so to speak. Because with Korda, we don't need to say like, oh, we need some heavy guitars for the chorus here. We can do something else instead, and that's a nice feeling.
That's great. Looking forward to whatever comes out of there for sure. It's very unique. Yeah. What do you think Anders' biggest contributions was to the essence of the Katatonia sound back in the day? Yeah,
no, he's been a super important person for many years in the band. I mean, we started the band together. He was the main songwriter in the beginning. And obviously his presence and his the songs that he made, made the whole foundation of the band.
Yeah.
So, I mean, super important person.
That's great. And do you think he brought in anything different to the sound of Katatonia, or do you think it's more like a collective effort itself?
I mean, we've always worked on the music sort of together. Even when he was writing more of the music, we would sit down and, go through everything and say like, because we had the same kind of inspirations. We had like musical language that was very intricate with how we wanted things to sound, and we seldomly had a fight about it. So I think it's been a joint effort, but he was obviously he was a talented guitar player. I couldn't really play guitar in the beginning.
Okay.
So I had to tell him what to play and how to play it, you know. So yeah, definitely very important in that sense.
That's great to hear. All right. So going towards, so you are the primary producer of the band right now. Is that right? Like, are you writing together right now, or is it like you have these ideas and then you send it to others and then they start working on it, kind of a thing?
Yeah, I've been writing most of the all the songs. But of course, I want to bounce things with everyone in the band and see what they have, you know, opinions, what kind of, what they can also bring. I mean, my songs, even though I write them and they're sort of finished, there's still a lot of space to fill out, because the other guys are obviously super good musicians in their own right, and they can sort of help the songs to go even bigger and better, you know. So it's an ongoing talk that I always have. I send out, first of all, ideas, and then maybe a full song, and we sort of talk about it and bounce ideas back and forth. So that's how it's working. Yeah.
And you write all the lyrics, right?
Yes.
And what would be the source of the inspiration? Is it like a mix of fiction and reality? Is it personal experiences, or do you like to imagine things? Yeah,
I think it's mostly reality.
Oh,
of
nice.
course, there has to be like some fiction thrown in as well, because my life isn't as, you know, interesting as it might look sometimes. But it's stuff that I go through, which I think is similar stuff to what a lot of people go through, sort of on the dark side of things. And I try to just make it blend well with the music and try to get the vibe of every certain song, what kind of lyrics it needs. And it's an ongoing process. It's never ending. It's kind of hard to, you know, sometimes it can get overwhelming when you're working on an album and you try to sort of find the exactly right vibe for every song. But I think so far I've you know, succeeded, but it takes some time, but it's a labor of love as well.
That's pretty interesting. And do you come up with the artwork before the songs are done? Do you visualize them, or is it like after the songs are done, you listen to them and you visualize some sort of thing?
Yeah, I think it's when the album is finished, it feels like that's when you get the whole picture. So that's when I start thinking about album art and stuff like that.
Okay.
But obviously, if you sit working on a song for a long time and you think it has a certain atmosphere, there's going to be pictures in your head. So stuff that you can use later when it's time to sort of manifest the whole album.
And the latest one was, I read somewhere there was some sort of a dream also you had, and it translated.
Yeah, it's connected to the whole nightmare concept. And I think the picture itself, it's very, I mean, it's a kind of a calm and soothing picture, but at the same time, it's also horrifying, which is, you know, what nightmares can be. It's sometimes you wake up and you feel relieved that it was just a nightmare, but still you might want to go back there and see what's going to happen. So it's,
It's a beautiful artwork for sure.
Thank you.
Awesome. So I think I've taken too much of your time. So thank you so much, Jonas,
no worries, man.
Talking to Sinusoid Music.
Thank you very much.
Thank you
Cheers
so
for
much.
talking to me.
Cheers. Thank you.